Welcome, everyone. Dallas Vintage Toys. Sean and I's owner. Just came back from Toy Fair, and we're going to do a little walk around, talk about stuff in the graded room. Stuff is always coming and going out of this room. Someone just brought in Gandalf and Gollum from Knickerbocker Lord of the Rings, and we have a Samwise there. Here's the Toys R Us baseball rookies. Someone graded that, brought it into our shop. Then we have a uncirculated, that's right, AFA used to take stuff out of the package, and that is a U85 Green Lantern from Kenner's Superpowers. Then we have some Thundercats Tuska Warriors, and we have a Rambo, and this is, where is that from? That is from Argentina, so that is different than the Coleco US version. Then we have Amigo Spider-Man right there. That is an AFA 90. And I believe Kenner Toys is also the Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. That is the phone booth right there. And I would really love to get in some more Legos that I grew up with. Here we have a vintage that is 1990. This is the color box. You would think it'd be like from the 80s or whatnot. Then we have some Battlestar Galactica. We have a Bore and Baltar. We have some loose figures there. We have some Dune and the Ghostbusters figure that just came in too. Someone brought that in as well. And we got these video games in a trade. Those are factory sealed. Tiger Heli. I remember back in the day that took a lot of my coins at Minyard's grocery store back in the day. I don't even know if Minyard's is still in business. Then Gremlins. They're going to come out with another movie. And we have the Wacky Packages stickers there, and also the Nintendo game packs there. I remember going to a Blockbuster, and you would just get a coin, and you would scratch off it's kind of like a lottery ticket. And let's see, we got Dr. J down there, and we have Jason David Frank, autographed by him. We actually have a couple more autograph pieces with him and Jenna Frank, so we might send those off and get verified too. And we have the Amigo Wonder Woman Nubia. That's I think that's the first time we've actually had one of those in the shop. Then we have a few more of the Franciscan Monk Pedigree collection. So these were 7 factory sealed cases of Indiana Jones figures. And then we sent those off to CAS, and then they opened them up there. I think it is on a documentary on Amazon, Plastic Crack. So if you want case fresh figures pulled from the case and encapsulated, that's your shot to get those too. And I think we just got the LJN Giant Thuggy Indiana Jones figure in, I think 1 or 2 weeks ago. A gentleman from up north, I think he drove like 1,300 miles. He's been to our shop. I think last time he came to our shop was like 2 years ago. Then we have a handful of the web stores are actually from factory case too. So we are almost out of web stores too. So those are uncirculated. We just got in this Comic-Con exclusive He-Man figure back from being graded at CAS. Then this is the last of our mock-up prototypes. That is a Skeletor. I think it's on like a Monsters Inc. packaging. So sometimes they'll just make boxes, then it actually has a signed off sample on the left. And I believe they're coming out with a movie pretty soon. I've been seeing a lot more pickup on He-Man stuff, so good thing we have Castle Grayskull and the sword on the hip over there. So from Dolph. And then these Brave Star items, we are almost out of Brave Star. These actually came from Dana. He worked at Mattel for 34 and a half years, one of the longest employees that worked for Mattel. And this was some of the stuff that was just in factory cases, and we had it graded, and we still have some of the play sets on the other side of the wall there. Most of our Transformers from the East Coast collection have sold. We have a few remaining. We have an Optimus Prime. We have a Soundwave. We have a couple Mini-Bots, a couple Galvatrons, a Perceptor, and we just sent in our Supreme Optimus Prime. So if you like hype clothes and hype toys, there you go. We got a couple Insecticons, a Mega Supreme, and a Jetfire. I'm sending out one of the Jetfires this morning. So And lots of GI Joe figures over there. I've always liked Red Star because he comes with the AK-47 and the railgun. And that actual missile firing rocket, that one out of that whole era always seemed to pack the most punch. It actually shot pretty far. Then we have a few of the not for sale figures down there from 82, 83 line. And we have, I think, 3 mispackaged G.I. Joe figures there. So we have a Snake Eyes on Crimson Guard, and then another Crimson Guard with Zorana. Then Scrap Iron is on a Techno Viper. So it seems like Crimson Guard is up to no good. Over here, we have some of the more desirable rare items. We have the Canadian wind-up R2-D2 right there. We have the Sears Canadian Vacuum Form Lobot. So they had 5 figures on that style card. And on the back of the card, it is just blank cardboard. We have a Kinder Bagged Blue Snaggletooth. We have a Tri-Logo Yak Face there, graded in 80. We just got in the Australian Toll Toys Vinyl Cape Jawa. Now, those are prone to having the plastic degradation on the legs and arms. So basically the limbs, it's a little bit discolored, but that is, I think that might be like a 75 plus. So that is one of the highest graded ones. I think there might be an 80, but it doesn't go above that. Then we have the Lily Letty Jawa from Mexico. That is the little cap, the removable hood does come off. Then we have from Turkey, we have the Uze Blue Stars bootleg figure right there. Then we have the mock-up ESB Walrus Man hand-cut bubble prototype White Cape Bib Fortuna on it. So Bib Fortuna came out in Return of the Jedi. They also had him in a red cape. So on some of the backs of the cards is the red cape. And we have the Glasslight 1988 Brazilian Blix figure. And I think we have a backer card to him too. I don't know where that ended up at. Oh, that's coming back for being engraved. So yeah, so no one even knows we have that yet. So there's a guy that came in from Brazil to our shop, and he has gotten this Blix when he was younger. And when he was 15, he just decided to open it up, and he cut the bubble off. He sent the Blix through an auction house, and he brought in the backer card. So if you need a clean hand cut off bubble, so we sent it into CAS to get it archivally graded, because they're not going to grade a card back, but they blessed it, and we should be getting that pretty soon, maybe in the next week or so. Then we have the factory sealed case of Droids A-Wing vehicles. There's 6 factory sealed A-Wings in there. It has the X-ray on the outside. Then we have a Regal Robot Salacious Crumb. That is amazing. That's one of my favorite pieces in the shop. This also came from Dana, that worked at Mattel for 34 and a half years. That is a Computer Warriors computer. Kind of reminds me of the 80s Apple computer. And yeah, so we only got like 2 of those in, so those are very cool. I think we have like some ungraded, some of the like Coke can and the pencil sharpener on the website. They also have the soccer ball trophy. Then here we have a wide range of Ninja Turtles here. So a lot of these are going to be like 93, 94, some of the rare ones, the Gatekeeper ones, the Communicator that April came with, the blue news van. I believe this is the Comic-Con exclusive, the black and white NECA 4-pack. And then we have 3 out of the 4 Mego Kiss figures down there. And then we have a Kenner $6 Million Man and Crusher. So I remember we would usually get those in like first locations almost 20 years ago, loose ones, but that is graded in the box. And we have a LJN Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Tiamat 5-headed evil dragon. So that's a good piece there. So I'm excited about the Crusher and the Tiamat, just because those don't come in that often. Then we have some more turtles here. A little bit of everything there. I'm trying to see if we have any weird variations or not. I know Ray Fillet has different color patterns on the chest. I think that one's yellow, that one's pink. So we might have all the colors of the rainbow there. A few of the little cosplay kid sets down there. We got a Michelangelo and Raph set. We used to have another Conan sword, but got a place for the NBA. Supposedly, when I was gone at New York Toy Fair, he picked up one of the swords. Then we have a carded Scratch the Cat, and we have two loose complete ones right there. And let's see. So April, there's on one of her legs, there's no stripes, and then there's stripes, and then I think. Okay, yeah. So sometimes it says press and no press on the shirt pocket too. Then we got some farmer turtles up there. Then a range of ungraded figures mixed with some master replica props. And then we have some more over here too. Then down here on the bottom shelf, we have series 1 through 15 factory sealed Garbage Pail Kids. So those are either graded or BBCE wrapped. The ones that are graded used to be BBCE wrapped, but the grading company had to remove that to grade them. So they were almost double blessed. And then we have the buttons with the shipper, the posters, and the larger cards. That's pretty much everything. Then there's a wide range of loose Kenner Star Wars figures. Then the Creature Cantina and the Land of the Jawas playset is content sealed. I think the tape might have popped on those, so they've never been played with. Then there's a range of Star Wars, ESB, and Jedi Kenner Star Wars figures, and some Letty stuff down there from Mexico, or Palatoy from overseas, Tri-Logo. And someone brought in a graded calendar from Star Wars. I've never seen one of those graded before. And we have the first shot prototype C-3PO case graded there. So those are supposed to be vac metal gold. And then this is the kind of cream color. And we have the FA90 First 21 Bell display. There's a few Boba Fett's up there. And I forgot what that Yoda statue's from. This is the Elusive Concepts hand and carbonite. So let's see. So 11 years ago, first location, Sammy was 2, and I rarely ever leave the shop, but he was getting his first haircut. So we went to go do that. Then my employees contacted me and said, "Hey, Sean, there's a vintage Star Wars collection." I was like, "Okay, well, I'll be there after the haircut." And they're like, he has a life-size hand carbonite. And I was like, "Well, I don't need a cardboard one. Just get the vintage collection." They're like, "No, it's on a flatbed trailer." So I was like, "Okay." Then it's been in the shop ever since. And one of our guys that does like cosplay stuff, he does like the Iron Man helmets for cosplayers. It opens up and everything. So he popped the back of it, and it can actually plug in. And it can cycle through 7 different hero cycles, so it lights up on the sides there. But yeah, so Elusive Concept made this in the 90s. And then I think Sideshow actually sells one too, but there's a lot of unlicensed ones, I should say. So just do your research, and I mean, like everyone's seen the big stickers that go over the fridge and everything.
So this is the one from the 90s?
Correct, yeah. Elusive Concept. They also made that big Java, I think you were looking at during our sale one year, whatnot. Then the Sears Cantina, that is content sealed, so all those have the Kinder Bag figures, which look like this up here. So that's the whole set there graded. Then we have the ESB 6-pack that is factory sealed, not a Q grade, that is a red label. Then we have the early bird set without the box there. We have a store display where you really hard to find, because most of the time people would take one of the posters, so it's hard to find one that has not been used. And we've kind of been stockpiling a lot of the 12-inch figures. So we have some Jawas, R2-D2, Han Solo, Chewbacca. We have Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker. We have the Tusken Raider from Mexico, which was not sold in the U.S., a C-3PO, and a Boba Fett. Then down there we have a master replica Snowspeeder. So that is as close as you can get to a I guess a screen used movie prop, and we have the original boxes for all this stuff in the back, like these lightsabers right here, and some of these are signed by the actors. And so this is master replicas, and then this was at the Disney Star Wars exhibit. Then we have Regal Robot stuff. So this is like the Ralph McQuarrie concept before it was what Jabba looks like today. So that's what he could have looked like. Jabba no ball. We got more sabers, some helmets down there. Then we just got this back from being graded. So that is a die-cast TIE bomber. Then we have a land speeder. So the TIE bomber is very hard to find. We don't get in too often. It is a white vehicle. It's usually prone to yellowing over time. So that is in really good condition. Then we have a glasslight shrink-wrapped ATL interceptor. One of my other favorite pieces is the droid's lightsabers. Those are pretty cool. Then this just came back from being graded. This is a SDCC Sith Trooper helmet. And it was in, I think it's grade like a 90 or 95. And for some reason, these are not on the website. This is the set of the hollow chest table from Regal Robot. So those are very cool. Maybe I like them too much. I didn't put them on the website. It's an in-store purchase only. I don't know, just my guess. Then here we have, this is another con exclusive. That is a, since you're talking about Han Solo in carbonite, here is a Jar Jar in carbonite. So that came in the like octagon set. Then you pull out the middle chamber. Then that was a prize figure in there. And we got the Jango Fett blasters, the dark saber, some more helmets down there. And there are so many statues in here. And we're always buying, selling, and trading too. And actually, I have a couple more graded pieces in my office that were delivered while I was in New York, so we can take a look at those as well. So we just got this in from, bought this from a guy in Europe. This is a AFA 80 Plus early bird certificate package. So this is basically what started all the Star Wars figures. So you're kind of promised this piece, and then you can mail this away for the early bird figures that we have in the graded room that we just showed you. So that's what it looks like. You get the stand, some stickers, you put your figures there, and it is factory sealed. And then we got this in. This is a Han Solo 20 back, AFA 80 with the Boba Fett offer right there. And then what's cool about this Chewbacca here, this is a 1 of 1. So this is the green crossbow bowcaster. So this is usually on a 12 back A skew footer, or it came with the early bird set here. So it's kind of, I thought it was a neat little variation that it's on a 20 back. And then this is a Canadian GDE logo 12 back Ben Kenobi. So they call the GDE logo that's kind of like a little pyramid down there. And that is graded in AFA 85. These are very hard to come by. It's going to have both languages there. And then this little guy is about to be sent off to get graded. So AFA was kind enough to put that on the report, so I can add that because now they're trying to expand a little bit of their loose figures for grading. And we also got a factory sealed Princess of Power Crystal Falls playset.
It's sealed?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to grade that?
I don't know. And that's about that.